Hello, this is John Mutchett, the pastor of the Ferndale Alliance Church, and I would like to revisit the verse that we looked at yesterday, Matthew chapter 5, verse 3, that says, "Blessed or very fortunate are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And I would just like to talk about this word spirit, or poverty of spirit. The word spirit could also be translated wind or breath or air. It's the Greek word pneuma, P-N-E-U-M-A, and we get the word pneumatic as in pneumatic tools that are run on air. And so we might say that being poor in spirit is perhaps having the wind knocked out of us, or having the life breath knocked out of us when we go through those real difficult and challenging times and we just been zapped of our strength and our energy. This might certainly be the case for many people right now around the world as we go through this pandemic together. I was checking the statistics and they were kind of scary. There have been 250,000 reported cases of the virus in our country, with approximately 6,000 deaths. In our state of Washington, about 6,500 reported cases, and I think about 300 deaths. In my county, Whatcom County, I think 200 reported cases, and to date, 9 people have died because of the virus. These are scary and distressful times, and that doesn't even mention the economic devastation that it has and will cause upon our world. And then there are individual stories. This is not just some general thing that's impacting the world. It's impacting individuals and families. Just in my own church community, I know of one young couple, hardworking, good people. They both learned this week that they lost their jobs following the news that they are expecting their first child. Talk about a stressful situation and just the normal things of life. One of our members in a recent 3-month period of time lost his beloved wife and his mother. There are a lot of things that will knock the breath out of us, bring about a sense of poverty and spirit. And I think God is trying to tell us that He can do His greatest works in our life during those times of brokenness and contriteness and humility. I'm thinking of a few verses that I wanted to share today. One is Psalms 51, verse 17, that says that a broken and contrite heart, God, you will not despise. And in 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 to 7 says that it calls us to humble ourselves under God's hand, that He might lift up us in due time, to cast all of our anxiety and cares upon Him, because He cares for us. It says that God is opposed to the proud, but He gives grace. He gives His benevolent commitment to the humble. It's hard to appreciate what can go on during this period of pain and distress, but God can do great things in our lives if we let Him. So I'd like to leave with 3 words, 3 things for us to do during this pandemic. Number 1 is thank God for what He's doing in our own lives. Thank Him for the blessings, but thank Him that He's teaching us things. And if you let Him, He will show you great things. And that is the second word that starts with the letter T, is teach us, God. Use this time of disruption and uniqueness and isolation to teach us. And finally, God, transform us, change us into something different. May this not be a wasted opportunity as we all experience a measure of having the wind knocked out of our sails, being poor in spirit. I want to close with another verse. It's Colossians chapter 3, verse 12, the words of Paul, and he gives us 5 words to think about to challenge ourselves on how we're going to act and relate to one another. He says, as God's people, clothe yourselves, or put on or be these things. He gives us 5 beautiful words here. He says, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. He wants us to do those things at home. Most of us are not out at work right now, but our social context is going to be our family, our home. It may be out at the grocery store, those occasional places that we go right now. It certainly should take place online. There's something about the internet that sometimes brings the worst, the most toxic out of people. So I want to read these 5 words again and suggest these are the modus operandi. This is how we should operate our lives, really all the time, but certainly during this shared time of pandemic. Again, clothe yourselves with, here we are, compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Thank you for watching. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he lift up his countenance upon you. Until next time, so long.